There's so much value in chilling and decompressing from your day-to-day activities because we oftentimes get into these habits, and it's not really our fault, right? Like, our brains are programmed to do things habitually because it's less stressful. But then, like, when we start doing different things, whether that's going to a cafe on a Friday or going on a trip, these changes in your environment, they force us to interrupt the habits that we have all the time.
Welcome to Life is the Game, hosted by yours truly, Alexandra Nicole Stone. Get ready to uncover the secrets to mastering your destiny, becoming the main character in your life, and embracing a life filled with meaning and joy. Ready? Let's play.
And welcome to Life is the Game. I'm your host, Alexandra Nicole Stone, and I have a traveling episode today. It's going to definitely be a main character update and really just reflecting on traveling and what that means to me and what the change of environment means to me. And right now, I'm outside because I don't really have good lighting or Wi-Fi. It's been a little bit of a struggle and a challenge, and I completely recorded an episode earlier today, but there was some kind of malfunction. But I got upset for a moment, and then I realized, hey, life, if life is a game, then I'm just gonna get another shot, and this was just a practice run, and there's no reason for me to get upset. So we're just going with the flow and enjoying the process. But really, this episode is really reflecting on the importance and significance of just like having a pause in your mental space and having a change of an environment and how that can be so beneficial for you. And that's what it's really been for me. I've been traveling. I was spending 1 week in Greece, and then now I'm in Romania where my family's from. I haven't been here in 11 years, so it's super different and refreshing being here. I'm feeling an overwhelming sensation of peace. The sentiment over the last month and a half has been a lot of restlessness. So to be in this state of peacefulness is something that's completely foreign to me. I think I've been really stressing about what it is I'm going to be doing next, and being in this sort of change of environment and this change of stimulus has made me realize that I'll figure out exactly what I have to do next. It's good to plan, it's good to figure out, it's good to put myself out there, but it's nothing that I should be stressing out over. One of the coolest things I think has just been, not having a sense of overwhelming responsibility. Like, we were in Athens and Santorini, and I have so much cool podcast inspo that I can't wait to get back and get into the studio and record like a full length episode going into just like different ideas I have both about gamification and history and like learning and just getting so much inspiration and the potential like gaming for educational purposes and like learning history and simulations and stuff like that. I have so much insight on that I'm excited to get back on. But now being in Romania has been mostly chilling, and it's been super nice. Like, I haven't been here for 11 years, and I've been spending time with my little cousins, and they're 5 and 7, and they're just so candid and kind and sweet and funny. And, they're little kids, so they drive you crazy. But I've never spent so much time with small children before, and it's been really refreshing and thinking about ways to entertain them and have conversations with them and just being in this completely different headspace. Being here now is just sort of making me realize, like, number one, there's so much value in chilling and decompressing from your day-to-day activities because we oftentimes get into these habits, and it's not really our fault, right? Like, our brains are programmed to do things habitually because it's less stressful. But then, like, when we start doing different things, whether that's going to a cafe on a Friday or going on a trip with family and friends to a different destination, and these changes in your environments are kind of like pattern interrupts. So they force us to interrupt the habits that we have all the time. And because of those pattern interrupts, we're sort of filled with inspiration. I'm not a neuroscientist, but it's a neuroplasticity happens, right? Like, your brain is stimulated with new things that are unfamiliar to you, which forces you to think of things in a different way. And that goes the same for your environment, right? Like even the lifestyle I've been living here, like Europe is so much walking. I think every day I've been walking like 10 miles and I've been just eating a lot healthier and the lifestyle is different. And I'm excited to take that back with me to the US because I'm sure it's going to just have so much influence and just cultivate so many more healthier habits in LA. I've been having I just got an Apple Watch for my birthday, so I can like see the amount of steps that I take. It's been sort of like it's been kind of cool, like getting that data of insights on like what you're doing every day. So it's kind of gamifies. You're like, okay, I've been hitting like 10 miles a day. I don't know if I'll be hitting that many miles at home, but still it's like, oh, okay, like, or how can I incorporate more walking into my lifestyle so I can hit that goal even when I'm back at home? There's such a value in stillness and chillness that words cannot describe. And I really have been valuing this as in I've been valuing this time that's really meant for chill because even when you're at home and you designate time for chill, you don't really honor it. And so being here and really not having anything specific on the agenda has been extremely refreshing because it's really giving my mind that space and that time to truly relax and decompress. I wake up early. I've been waking up early and working out or going for a swim. And then in the middle of the day, I have a siesta. I like sleep from 4 to 6. It's pretty nice. I like it. I don't know if I'll be going back to the schedule at all in the US, but it's something that I've definitely been enjoying while I'm here. Our minds are so just constantly running and running and running and running and overthinking and being in this peace and being in this stillness is has made me realize that I've been trying to do too many things. And a lot of the times, like I know I'm admiring a lot of people who are popular influencers on LinkedIn, like Morgan Ingram, or on Instagram, or on, you know, the Brene Browns of the world or the Tim Ferrisses of the world who are speaking and writing books and doing all these different things. But the thing is, like, they all started somewhere by like doing more things really well. And I've had all these visions about doing this like side podcast and stuff in AI and doing stuff in the metaverse. So when I'm starting to think about all of those things, it's like so overwhelming and I'm not nurturing and feeding this podcast, which is supposed to be my number one priority and figuring out how to distill the messages from this podcast to my audience via social media and doing that well, in addition to figuring out exactly what I want my agency to become. And so having this peace and having this stillness has been such a beautiful and friendly reminder to take a break, take a breath, and really only focus on the things that matter most. Because when I'm looking at the mountain of things that I want to do, and I'm capable of doing all of them, certainly, but to grow and to succeed, what I want right now, it requires me like giving that attention. So, this podcast and my agency are my little saplings and I have to give them their full attention. Whatever compounds or once I have automation going in those departments and those things are successful on their own or it's flowing and it doesn't require so much support and nutrition and I can just water it versus like changing the soil and providing it nutrition and it just growing on its own, then I can start compounding on other things like books and speaking. Sometimes a journey in life is just like as you're going along the way, like new opportunities present themselves that you can add on to the things that you're existingly doing. So I'm sitting in this really peaceful, refreshing state, and I think that's the value of going on a vacation, and that's the value of taking time for yourself. And whatever that change in environment it is for you, it doesn't have to be going to a new place and taking a long term vacation. If you can, that's great. And sometimes you can take a long vacation and discover that, oh my gosh, it was the wrong time to take a vacation, but maybe you don't regret it or whatever. But maybe it's like, okay, every Friday I work from a cafe, or on Sundays I take my dog for a walk in the nicest park in town. And I've tried doing this myself a lot, and I haven't honored it because the thing is, like, I won't put that time on my calendar like a formal thing, and then I'll book other meetings or other affairs during that time, and then I won't honor it. And so in order to maintain that promise to yourself and actually get yourself out of your home office and actually, like, start doing really fun things is, like, you have to put on your calendar and you block it out and then you honor it. So you don't book meetings over it. You block your schedule and you plan your schedule around that one thing, or you move that earlier in your day or whatever, but you still honor that habit, and that way you can keep it and you can shift your environment, whether it's a cafe or a co-working office, and see what that does for you. And maybe it won't set your world alight in the beginning, but over and over again it'll become something new. It'll disrupt the patterns that you're already having within your life, and maybe you'll gain some inspiration, maybe you'll meet some new contacts, some new people. Hey, maybe it's somewhere that you get to walk from your house, so you get some steps in, you get some vitamin D. And like these little things over time are so important in honoring ourselves and stimulating our minds and getting new perspectives. So I strongly encourage all of you to sort of figure out how to weave that into your lives. And, as I go back into my life at home, I'm going to figure out how do I weave more of that intentional space and intentional pattern interruptions into my life. So I don't feel like I'm stuck at home all day, in my home office. Like, so I don't feel like I'm lost in the monotony and I'm still getting refreshed and inspired by external environments. I was such on such a roll earlier today when I was recording this podcast, and some of the stuff you just get like inspiration on the spot as you're talking about things. But I was definitely just talking about some of the highlights of my trip and even just being in Santorini. And like I love swimming and swimming for hours. I mean, I like just and there's quite a bit of waves, so it's like swimming for like 2 hours a day and like 15-minute increments is like amazing. It just makes you feel refreshed and cleansed, and it's been nice. Ever since I've been in Europe, I've like lost some weight, just not even like trying, just being. I've been drinking beer and eating bread, which like even, a Fanta has less sugar here. So it's just been kind of nice having that and having that European lifestyle and just getting connected to my roots and having this little like shift in the pace of life, a little bit slower pace of life. It's been delightful, but I'm really excited to get back to things. And I know I've taken like a 2 week pause, and sure if I was more organized, I'd have more things firing off, but I figured the world's not going to end. I've also like sat in something else this last couple of weeks where I've been looking at others people's content so much, and I've been trying to make these, you know, posts and reels and sort of like gimmicky stuff that doesn't really feel authentic to me. And I've really sat in it and thought about it. And yes, I do have to put that content out there. Like, I do have to put the volume of content out there, but I'm going to do it my way and in a way that's authentic to me and a way that's in my voice, because then it won't feel like so much work. I mean, the reason a lot of this stuff feels like work is because it's not me to take my phone out and like have someone record me and as I'm like walking through the streets of Santorini. Like, I'm not trying to show off this opulent lifestyle that I'm living that somebody else doesn't have. I'm just trying to share information. And I think my power is in being me and being this awesome, like fun, authentic, and vulnerable person and silly and candid and raw and saying all the things a lot of us think, but maybe we're too scared to say. So really, that's my power. So why am I gonna try to fight it and be somebody else? I don't want to be anybody else. And sure, it helps to go viral or whatever, and I'll sprinkle those viral videos whenever they get a chance to be looped in there, but that's just not who I am. I'm someone else. I'm just here. I'm here. I'm sharing my story with you. I'm talking. I'm candid. I'm silly. I'm Alex, and that's really what it's about. And I think the struggle that I've been experiencing over the last couple months and where all this stress has been coming from is because I'm trying to be somebody that I'm not. I'm trying to be this like online caricature. And as I've been getting more comfortable in front of the camera, it's like I just love being me. And like what I love about interviews is like I love talking to someone and having this like raw conversation between me and somebody else, and then having that synergy of this like we're showing up and being vulnerable and sharing what we know. And it's so healing for me and it's so healing for somebody else. And like I can sit there and do that all day long. So this is going to be a short one, my dear players. I am remote. This is not a high studio produced video, and I certainly hope my audio is working great. If not, now I got nervous. Oh my god, of course. My mic hasn't been on. Well, we're gonna find out what this audio sounds like. It's gonna be a rough and raw one because ay ay ay. My mic has been off this entire time. So Mercury's in retrograde, y'all. I don't know if you believe in any of that. I'm gonna see how this sounds in post. My lighting is gone and I have about half a day to post this because I've been super lazy and in vacation mode, but we're gonna see how it goes. So my dearest players, always check your audio before you turn it on. Take some breaks, take a vacation if you can, or create spaces for yourself, create pattern interruptions, change your environments, mix things up, break your habits so you can gain new inspiration and new insights and develop a sense of peacefulness away from the day-to-day grind so you can realize what you really want instead of just doing for the sake of doing. Ready? Let's play.